Hey friend, today we're elevating your iPad to another level. Whether you use your iPad for work or study, reading a good book, or unwinding and playing your favorite game, setting up your iPad with different focus modes will not only improve your workflow, but also create a whole new iPad experience. I have different home screens set up for the different ways I use my iPad, and by setting up the different focus modes, I have the apps that I currently need to work with quickly accessible while keeping the distractions at a minimum. Let's get into it. Alright y'all, the first thing we need to do is set up a few new home screens, and to do that you're gonna just hold on the screen until everything starts to jiggle and swipe to the left. Here you can just add the apps and widgets that you want on each one of your home screens, and we went through how to set up your home screen in the first part of this series, so I'll link it below if you missed that. Now you want to set up a home screen for each of the focuses that you want to use. I've set mine up for creativity, productivity, and entertainment. So what I'm going to do is set each one of the home screens up to tailor for what I would use whenever I'm working on productivity stuff or working on my creative stuff. Each home screen is set up to give me what I need to quickly access to get done what I'm doing during that moment that I have that focus on. And another focus may be, you know how your kids like to use your iPad, set up a home screen for them to have all of their apps in one place. So jumping ahead, I have all of my pages set up, and any of the pictures or backgrounds that I use during this setup, I've created a Pinterest board and I have it linked below if you want to use any of the images that I'm using today. So now that I have all of my home pages set up, I can move on to the next step. To quickly jump from focus to focus, I've added the shortcut widget to my home screen so I can just use the buttons on that widget to change the setting that I'm in when I'm working in my focuses. When using the shortcut widget, you want to make sure you have a button for each of the screens that you set up. Now there's a widget with 1 button, 2 buttons, 4, 8, and if you want to go all out, you can choose the widget with 16 buttons. I'm going to stick with the widget with 4 buttons. That way I have one for the 3 focuses that I set up plus one for home screen to bring me back to this view where I can see all of the screens and access everything on my iPad. Now when you add this widget, you may have to do some moving around to make sure your widgets and your apps still look the way you want them to look on your home screen. Another thing I want to show you is if you've already got your home screen set up the way you want it and there's not room for the shortcut widget, you can go in and select the shortcut widget and add it to your smart stack. So go through the steps of adding a new widget, go back to edit, add widget, select your shortcut widget, and when it's added to your screen, it's going to kind of shift your layout a little bit. You'll notice that the apps that I have at the bottom are gone now that I add the shortcut widget. Now what you want to do is drag this shortcut widget on top of wherever you want to create your smart stack. And when I drag it up there, the apps for GoodNotes and Pinterest will come back onto this layout. Now we have the shortcut widget on all of the home screens. Now if you don't want to add the shortcut widget, you can always pull down from the control center and you can access your focuses from here. So just select the focus icon there and then you can select which focus that you want to move to if you don't want to have this on your home screen. And one last thing I want to show you with the home screens is if you have your home screen set up and they're not quite in the order that you want them in, you can change the order. Just go to edit and then edit page and it'll bring you to this view, and all you have to do is select the box and you can shift them around in the order that you want your pages. So I want my entertainment relaxation page to be the last one, so I'm going to move it in that spot. Now each focus can have its own lock screen and home screen, and this is what creates a new look on your iPad when you change from focus to focus. The first thing we need to do is add a lock screen for each of the focus that we're going to set up. While adding the lock screen, you can go ahead and go through the process for customizing your home screen background too. Now if you need an in-depth tutorial for that, it's in part 1 of the series. I show you the different ways to access the lock and home screens and all of the customization options for each. Here I'm just going to go through the steps of adding 3 more lock screens to this setup. Now we need to set up the focus settings so we can actually use our focus modes. So under settings, go to focus. And if you don't want to set your focuses across all your Apple devices, make sure that shared across devices is toggled off. You can add or customize your focuses from here, and you can also access this same menu option under the control panel. So when you open the control panel and select focus, it'll bring you to the menu for the options to add a focus or customize the ones that are already there. To create a new focus, select custom, and here you can change the color, you can select the icon you want to use for your focus, and you can give the focus a name. Now, once you have everything set up here, you're going to scroll down and select the next option at the bottom. Now, this is just like a quick information sheet on how focus work. And then when you select customize focus at the bottom, you get to choose how your focus is going to work. So you get to choose which people are allowed to call you while this focus is turned on, which notifications that you get from which apps. And this is also where we're going to set up the home screen and lock screen for each of the focus. So when you come down here, you want to choose which lock screen you want to use for your focus. And once you select the lock screen that you want to use in this focus, it's going to prompt you to select the home screen that you want to use. And it's going to show you they all have the same background color at this point, but you can look at the icons that you chose for each one. So I know that if I'm doing productivity first, I want to choose the page with my productivity apps and widgets to use with this focus. Once you're done with the focus customizations, you can select custom at the top and it'll take you back. The focus is set at this point. And now you're just going to go through and repeat the process for all the focuses that you want to set up. So you're going to choose your icon, set your color, set your notification settings, and then choose the home screen and lock screen that you want to use for each focus. The last thing we need to do is set up the shortcuts for the focuses, and this is what allows the focuses to change to your new home screens and lock screens once you set them. So we're going to pull up the shortcuts app. From here you want to select the plus sign at the top, and then in the search bar you want to type in focus and select set focus. Once you select set focus, it's going to create a line item. This is your area where you sort of give the commands for your focus. So it's going to say turn on, do not disturb. We want to change that to the focus that we've created. So I'm going to select content, and then where it says off, you want to select that till it turns on, and it's going to automatically say on until turned off. Now in this little drop down area at the top, this is where you can name your focus. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to name it content. If you select the settings icon to the left, you can customize this icon. So you can choose the color that you want your icon to be, and you can also choose what the icon is. So there's a whole list of icons that you can choose from. Once you've set your icon and the color, if you just click on the outside of this box, it'll close it out. And if you use the shortcut and arrow to the left, it'll take you back out to the shortcuts home screen, and you can see the shortcut that we've created. Now you want to go through and complete this process for each one of the focuses that you've set up a home screen for. Alright, so I'm almost done setting up my focuses, and I'm setting up the productivity focus now, and this is where I ran into some issues, and I wanted to leave this part in so I can show you what I did to fix the problem. So the first thing I did was, once I've customized and set the icon, I go back out, I realized that it says set focus. I didn't give this focus a name. When I go back in to give it the name productivity, I'm going to get this pop-up box, and it's going to tell me that I can't name it productivity because I already have a shortcut named productivity. So I go back out to the shortcuts home screen to try to figure out what's going on. And I realized that your shortcuts go across devices. So the shortcuts that I already have set up on my MacBook Pro are here, and I can't use those same names in the shortcuts for this iPad 10th generation. So I need to go back and give this focus another name. So I'm going to go in and name this one ADS for Ashley Digital Studio. So I fixed the name in shortcuts for the focus. Now I need to go back to the focus setting and change the name there to match what's in shortcuts. From here, when you select the three dots, it takes you back in to edit the focus. And I'm just going to edit and then change the name here to ADS. Now going back to the Shortcuts app, there are a few more things that we need to do before the process is complete. So when I get into Shortcuts, the first thing I want to do is create a folder for all the new focuses that we just created. In this pop-up, I'm going to choose the icon that I want to use for the folder, and I'm also going to give this folder a name. So since I already have focuses set up and a folder name focus, I'm going to name this one 10th generation focus so I don't confuse the two. Next thing I'm going to do is add the focuses we just created to this folder. So you can just simply drag and drop them into the folder. Just hold on the focus and drag it and drop it until you hold it over the name, and it gives you that green circle, and then you can drop it. So I've created shortcuts for the 3 focuses that I've set, but there's one more shortcut that I need, and this one basically turns off all of the focuses and gives me all of my screens. It takes me back to the home screen. In the search bar, we're going to search for set focus, and there are a couple of changes that we're going to make this time. So where it says do not disturb, you want to click here and select one of the focuses that you created. And this time we want to leave the option off. Now you're going to select set focus again and do the same thing for each one of the focuses that you have. So you want to make sure that you have a line here for each focus and that they're all saying off. Once you have a line for each one of your focuses, we're going to go back to the search bar, and now you're going to type in switch, and you want to select the option for switch between wallpapers. From here, select wallpapers, and then you'll get a pop-up of all your wallpapers. Select the one for your main or your home screen wallpaper. That's it for the commands for this shortcut. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to name this one home screen. I'm going to change the icon, give it a color, and then we're going back to the shortcuts homepage. Now you want to make sure that you drag this shortcut to your folder that you just created for your focuses, because you want to make sure when you activate your widgets that this is included in the folder. Now we can close the shortcut app, and you're going to go to the widget and hold on your widget. In the drop down, you want to select edit widget, and then folder. You want to select the folder that you created for this set of focuses. And you want to go through all your home screens and repeat this for each one of your shortcut widgets. So all of the focuses are set up, we've set up the shortcuts, and now it's time to test it out to make sure it works. But I ran into another issue while testing it out. I select ADS, there's a pop-up that says basically there's no focus set up for this shortcut, and it's because I still have productivity there. So we need to go back into shortcuts and fix this. I'm just going to use the home screen button to turn off all of the focus, and I'm going to open back up the shortcuts app. And what needs to happen is I have to go into the folder and I have to edit the ADS. I have to edit the ADS shortcut. And when I open it up, you can see the problem is right here. It says productivity for the focus, and I need to change that to ADS. So now when I go back out and I select the button, it should work like it's supposed to. When you're using your focus, the only home screen that you will have available to you is the home screen that you set up for that focus. When you swipe to the left or right, when you swipe to the right, you're going to get your app library. And when you swipe to the left, you're going to get that menu. And when you go out and open your lock screen, it should be the lock screen that matches your focus. Okay, so that's it for the focus modes and how to set up the different lock screens and home screens. I hope that you found this helpful. In the next video, we're going to take a look at the different ways that I use my iPad. And if there's anything that you would like included in this series, please leave it in the comments so I can try to get it in. All right, y'all, till next time.